Hello students, how are you? Are you all good? Hope you are good. I am also very good here. And in the previous session we have learned about respiration and its different types. Okay. So we have learned about aerobic respiration, we have learned about anaerobic respiration in the muscle cells, in the yeast. Yes or no? Okay. Now we are going to learn a part of respiration, and that is nothing but breathing. Okay, now talking about breathing, can we survive without breathing? Okay, right now also when I'm teaching you or while you are listening to me, we all are breathing. And actually while we are breathing, what we are doing, we are taking in our air and we are releasing it out. We are taking in the air and we are releasing it out. Okay, so to answer this question, can we survive without breathing, so you have to hold your nose and you have to think for how much time you can hold. Or is there any kind of suffocation felt when you have closed both the nostril? Now let's start. Okay, so I'm going to put a timer over here, and now we are going to see for how much time we are going to hold our breath. See, student, not even less than 4 minutes we can hold our breath. Okay, so we can conclude that breathing is very essential for our life. If there could be no breathing, we cannot survive at all. Okay, now see student, what is actually breathing and what are the things that is included in the breathing. So in the image also you can see here that she is doing one yoga that is known as Anulom Vilom. This yoga is known as Anulom Vilom. Okay, so we should practice this once and see what are the process through which this breathing takes place. So you have to take your thumb and close your right nostril, and you have to inhale the air, and closing the left nostril you have to exhale it from right nostril. So actually student, in the process of breathing we are having two process. The one is inspiration, okay, sorry, inhalation, and second one is exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation is there in the process of breathing. So student, while we are inhaling the air, we are having more amount of oxygen. Okay, the percentage of oxygen is more in inhalation, and while we are exhaling, there is air is rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, so student, we will breathe until our death. So it is a continuous process which goes on all the time and throughout the life of an organism. Okay, student, now we are moving forward. Now while we are doing any sort of work in our home, in our office, in our school, wherever you are doing, so we are normally breathing. Okay, and we have a normal breathing rate. So what is the normal breathing rate, students? Yes, so we have that normal breathing rate 15 to 18 times per minute. and this breathing rate is normal. That means we are doing a normal work. We are not doing very enough exercises. So the normal breathing rate would be 15 to 18 times per minute. Okay, students? Now, you have to tell me breathing consists of two things. What are those? The first one is inhalation and second one is exhalation. So in inhalation, the air is rich in oxygen, and in exhalation, the air is rich in carbon dioxide. Okay? Now see, as we have learned just now that breathing rate while we are doing very normal work will be 15 to 18 times per minute. 15 to 18 times per minute. So what will happen when we are going to climb the mountain or while we are doing extraneous exercises? Will the breathing rate remain same or it will increase? Yes, students, it will increase or decrease? Of course, students. So while we are doing the extraneous exercises or while we are doing excess of work, then our breathing rate increases. What happens? Our breathing rate increases. Okay? Now student, you have to tell me what happens after running. Do you breathe fast? Yes. So after running, what happens? Our breathing rate increases. But why it increases? What is the reason behind it? Yes, student, you have to tell me the answer also. Why there is need of oxygen or why our breathing rate increases while we are doing excess of exercises? Yes. So students, see, every cell need oxygen. Every cell of our body need oxygen. Okay. Now what happens is that while we are running or while we are doing enough of exercises, what happens? There is lack of oxygen. There is lack of oxygen supply to the muscle. Okay, and this lead to the pain in our muscles. Okay, pain in our muscles. That's why to accommodate that pain, to reduce that pain, our body breathe fast so that enough oxygen supply can be made to the cells. Okay, got the point? So moving to the next part. On an average, an adult human being at rest breathe in and breathe out 15 to 18 times in a minute. During heavy exercises, the breathing rate can increase up to 25 times per minute. Okay, students? So from here we come to know that when we are doing more exercises, our breathing rate increases to 25 times per minute. That means we are now getting more amount of oxygen. Oxygen amount is increased over here. So if oxygen amount is increased, then we will get more ATP for the cells. Now here are some points why there is increase in the breathe rate. So while we exercise, not only do we breathe fast, we also take deep breaths and inhale more oxygen supplied to our cells. Whenever a person needs extra energy, he or she breathes faster. As a result, more oxygen is needed. It speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. So student, it is often told us that we should do exercises in our body in the morning. Simple exercises also, simple exercise will also increase the demand of oxygen in our body. Increase the demand of oxygen in our body. Okay, and when the demand of oxygen will increase in our body, then oxygen supply will be increased, and throughout the day you will feel energetic. Okay students? Yes. Now this is your part, why we feel sleepy while we are doing some work. Simple work only. While we are studying also we are feeling sleepy, or while we are doing some work we are feeling sleepy. Why do we feel sleepy, students? Yes, you have to give me the answers. Yes, students. So what happens is that while we are just simply doing our work, okay, so what happens is that while we are doing some work, there is decrease in the oxygen demand, decrease in the oxygen. Okay, and this lead to feel sleepy. Okay, student. So now you have to answer this question. What is the breathing rate after exercise? If you are doing heavy exercises, what is the breathing rate? Just now we have studied, so you have to answer it. Yes, student. So after doing very heavy exercises, our breathing rate goes up to 25 times per minute. Okay. Now, now student, this is the basic and very important part of this lecture, the breathing mechanism. Okay, what is the breathing mechanism? How this air is going inside our lungs and why it is coming out of our lungs. So this is known as breathing mechanism. Okay, so first of all you have to see this image. I am giving you 30 seconds over here to verify all those things that is present here in this image. Okay. So students, see here, this complete part, first of all, this complete part, see here, is known as thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity. Okay, and this thoracic cavity consists of lungs, heart and diaphragm. The major organ over here is lungs, heart and diaphragm. Okay, so now we are going to see the mechanism of breathing. Now you have to do one thing. You have to inhale the air and you have to place your hand over your chest and you have to tell me what is happening. Okay, so you can see here that this rib, or we can say the thoracic cavity, has increased its capacity. The volume of thoracic cavity has increased. See, is it increased or not? Yes. And one thing more, here the diaphragm is contracted. That means if the diaphragm is like this, okay, it is contracted, it will become little bit straight, and this will also help in increasing the volume of thoracic cavity. So diaphragm contraction is there. Okay, so both this process, increase in the thoracic cavity and the contraction of diaphragm, increases the overall thoracic cavity volume. Okay, and when the volume increases, if we say the volume has increased, then we all know that the pressure inside the thoracic cavity will decrease. Okay, so the pressure in the thoracic cavity has decreased, and this will lead to rush the air from atmosphere into our lungs. Okay, so this is the process of inspiration, in which the thoracic cavity has, the volume of thoracic cavity has increased by increasing the ribs and the contraction of diaphragm. Clear? Now what happens in the exhalation? You can see here in the image, the thoracic cavity volume has decreased and again the diaphragm has contracted. Contraction of diaphragm can be seen here. Okay students, now here the volume decreased and the pressure increased. Okay students, now this will help to release the air out from the lungs into the atmospheric air. I hope you all have understood this breathing mechanism very well. Now moving forward, we all know that student, we should not smoke, and it is very harmful for our lungs basically. Okay, it may even cause lung cancer and it may lead to death of the person. Okay, so student, we should avoid having any type of tobacco, any type of cigarettes. They are very harmful to our lungs. Now actually student, smoking can be of two types, as you can see in this image also. The active smoking and passive smoking is there. Clear? So active smoking is doing, this person is doing active smoking. That means he is actually having the cigarette in his mouth. But what about the another person who is not having the cigarette? But you can see that this person is in the close vicinity of this person who is having cigarettes. The smoke is also going inside the nose of this person. Okay, so by knowing or unknowingly also, this person is also having the smoke of cigarette, which is very harmful to our lungs. Okay student, so both should be avoided. In the public places there should not be smoking. Smoking should be inhibited in the public places, so that the person who is not having, do not want to have those smoke, should be free from any type of diseases. Okay, so we should avoid smoking. It not only kills us, but it will kill the person who is around us. Okay, now you have to tell this answer. The floor of chest cavity is made up of nostril, diaphragm, chest, or stomach. So yes, we have done this. It is done by the diaphragm. What is the difference between active and passive smoking? So the person who is having the cigarette is having an active smoking, and the person who is in the around those person who is having the cigarette and having those smoke inside, such person is doing a passive smoking. Okay, now we are going to recapitulate the things. So we have studied about breathing rate, and pathway of air inside our body. So breathing is discontinuous process. True or false? So it is false. It is a continuous process. Breathing rate increases, decreases during sleeping. Yes, it decreases during sleeping. After passing through the nostril, it enters into trachea or lungs. It will enter into trachea. Then it will enter into lungs. Okay students, so there are a few homework for you. You have to make a chart to show the pathway of air inside our body. Count your breathing after running for 5 minutes. Compare with the normal breathing rate. Perform activity 10.2 given in the NCERT book. Okay student, hope you have understood this lesson very well. Now we are going to meet in next session. Till then, thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.